Okay, cool. Thanks, Henry.
Yep.
So when Henry calls, this one is probably one you're gonna really want to look at. It's the summaries screen. And this is like, you can even see right here, it's called reporting. So this one, I have a feeling you're gonna spend a fair amount of time on. You do want to notice though, you have to have a filter on to be able to create summaries. And technically this is probably mostly for fuels because fuels has a lot more data, like volume wise, and they don't want anybody trying to come here and build summaries that are including thousands and hundreds of, whatever. So I gotta put some kind of filter on. So I'm gonna probably maybe I'll grab that same thing. I'll say in my funding organization, I'm gonna go ahead and grab my funding agency of just do yeah. So I'll hit apply. So I have a filter now. I don't have to, it's important to notice that this summaries screen does not have, it's not tied to the map. So you could be zoomed in wherever you wanted to, but it is going to use it, not linked to the map. All right, so on summaries, what you want to do is you have to select something from this top section and at least one thing from the bottom section before it'll let you create a summary. So for this particular thing, I'm going to go ahead and do combined estimated, and then I'm just going to click in like category. And I'm going to say create my summary. So you can see that for BAA in this test data, we have 2 treatments and or 3 treatments total. 2 of them in minor asset repair replacement and 1 in biological. And it'll give you some totals. It'll give you some graphs, which when you have only 1 or 2 things isn't really that impressive. But if you scroll down to the bottom, this line down here is important to know what it is, because you can highlight it and like copy paste it and give it to somebody else, or the developers if they ask. Because if you're running into trouble with, like, say, making your numbers line up, that's a good place to look. Let's see. So of the things that you can select down here, we did more of a tree structure, so it's not just like a never-ending list of things. But if you expand them, you can see that almost all of the data fields that are important for reporting will come in down here. So these ones are good to have. I know that we're looking into in the future adding some additional functionality to this page. Namely, the biggest one I can think of right now is that we're going to talk through. Right now, I'm gonna click create summaries, and you'll see that they're creating them as like ORs. So they're going to give you a funding source subcategory. They're going to give you a funding source category. They're going to give you a funding source program. And so what we'd like to do, it sounds like it'd be helpful, would be to do an and, so that you're displaying all of this information and breaking it down for this situation. You will see not provided on something like this subcategory where, yeah, there's 6 of them, but the subcategory isn't applicable to any of these. So it'll say not provided, which just means it's either hasn't been filled out or it's not going to be filled out.
So Heather, would we be able to, like, query how many projects are bar funded, how many plant materials projects are bar funded and bill bar funded by using that and function? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, kind of some of that. So I think we have to define exactly the breadth of it, but I think what it